He's overcome. He's overcome. Come on down. Wait, I'll come in. Just wait. Can you? Yes. I don't have a link. Share it with me and I'll send it to her. She just asked me. Is it Joyce? We can email. I say right now. They all got things. I mean, I said, I don't have a lot of doing it too. Because I said it just copying this all the yeah, we were talking to Denise about it, and she's gonna call us tomorrow morning. He get first fixed and he said he sent us something to fix it, but we didn't get that.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the Central Independent School District Board of Trustees meeting being held on March 18, 2021, beginning at 6:30 p.m. Madam Secretary, do you have a call? Roll call?
Yes, sir. Del Rizzo. Present. Steve Bryant.
Here.
Victor Garza.
Here.
James Mulkey.
Here.
Monique Presses. Here. Mr. President, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We will move on to item 3, prayer and pledge. Mr. Scott?
Yes, sir. Tonight, for our prayer and pledge, we have a wonderful Pecan Valley team and its principal, Ms. Rodriguez.
Good evening, President Massingill, Mr. Toscano, and members of the board. I am excited to represent Pecan Valley Elementary as the principal. My name is Kristen Worshoff Rodriguez, and I would like to introduce to you our wonderful students who are going to be leading us in our prayer and pledge today. Leading us in our prayer today is going to be Zariah Graves. Leading our pledges is going to be Jordan de Leon, Anna de Guevara, and Aubrey Ramos. At the conclusion of our prayer and pledge, Ms. Reed, our excellent fine arts teacher, is going to take it over from there and close our ceremony. Dear Jesus, thank you for the life you have given us all and the gifts and talents you have blessed each of us with. We ask for a special blessing over the East Central community this evening. We pray that you would continue to provide your protection over all of our schools, students, families, staff members, administrators, school board members, and first responders. Please help us to continue to grow in our learning and understanding and in kindness to one another. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Hi, I'm Teresa, fine arts teacher at Kpi Valley. The students today are going to perform a traditional Maori folk song called Kpi Dashboard.
That's fantastic. So we'll move on to item 4, awards and recognitions. Mr. Scott?
Mr. President, trustees, it's a very special evening. You'll see that we have many guests with us tonight. It feels great to have people in the audience. It's been a while. We will be recognizing all of our teachers of the year across the district. And as you can see, many of them were able to join us tonight. So and with that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Coates.
Good evening, Superintendent Toscano, President Massengale, and trustees. March is a special month for recognitions because it is the month we recognize a very important group, our Teachers of the Year. They are representative of the over 700 dedicated teachers who serve the students of East Central. They were nominated and selected by their colleagues to represent them as the embodiment of excellence in their profession. In the last year, we've asked teachers to execute educating students under extreme circumstances. There have been tears of sorrow, late nights, technology issues, quarantines, sickness, and loss. There have also been tears of joy, collaboration, innovation, determination, selflessness, and sheer fortitude on the part of our teachers. They're the ones in the fight daily to engage and educate our children, and the teachers being recognized here tonight were selected as the best of them. Teaching is the purpose of our existence as a district, and the teachers before you represent all of our teacher heroes. I'm very pleased to present to you our Teachers of the Year, and the first one that I'll call up is Ms. Kotzer. Frances Kotzer.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for everything you do for us.
Ms. Coster, is this your daughter?
This is my daughter.
Yes. Will you stand up and be recognized as well? Next up, we'd like to welcome Kaylee Jaskula from Cast Lead.
I'm kidding. Principal. Okay, thank you.
That's so small.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Jaskula, do you have any family here, friends?
My husband's friend.
Next up, we'd like to welcome from Oak Crest, Ms. Megan Page.
Hey.
It's okay.
From Salado, Ms. Cecilia Garza. Do you have, we would like your husband?
My husband.
Please stand up and be recognized. Next up, from Pecan Valley, Ms. Stephanie Semay. Ms. Semay, do you have someone with you?
My husband, Michael.
The next two Teachers of the Year were selected as the district nominees for the HEB Excellence in Education nominees from all of our district Teachers of the Year. And so first up, I'd like to call Ms. Genesee Overcroft. Next, from East Central High School, also an HEB nominee for Excellence in Education, Ms. Jessica Gall. Next, we'd like to call forward our Elementary Teacher of the Year from Highland Forest, Heather Cabral. Can I please have from Tradition Elementary School, Ms. Stella Vasquez come up? So unable to be here with us us tonight were Mr. Mark Ramos from Harmony Elementary School, and also Mr. Jesus Ramirez from Heritage Middle School, whose wife just had a baby. So. Oh, yes.
That's one of my schools. You ever seen that?
Yes.
Are you from St. Clair?
Genesee,
Come on, remember.
will you take another picture?
Yes.
Mr. Mobley wants to take a
Oh,
picture
yeah,
of
that's
the
my-
celebrity.
Yeah, so I can come back and drag them to the principal.
And our last special guest tonight is our District Teacher of the Year from Legacy Middle School, Ms. Riley Jones. Ms. Jones, do you have someone here with you?
My fiance.
Ms. Foster, did you have family or friends here?
No, I'm fine solo.
Great. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight, and we thank your family, your friends for all that they do to support you as you work so hard for our children. So, thank y'all again for coming in person. We appreciate you, and we were so happy to recognize y'all tonight.
Thank you, and congratulations as well. Right now, I think we'll take a short, say 5 or so minute break, and then we'll reconvene after that break.
Group picture outside.
online, and I'll read that. It is from Mr. John Holt. As a parent of 3 East Central ISD students, I'm wondering if the district has established goals or benchmarks that need to be met before allowing students to have the option to not mask on campus. I believe if we have a clear established goal to meet, it could help us get our kids' lives more back to normal. They should not be wearing masks any longer than they absolutely need to, and I think everyone can agree on that. Where we all disagree is when that point is. If the district could give us their thoughts, it would be much appreciated. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it, Ms. Colas.
Yes, sir.
We'll take note of that suggestion. We'll move on to Superintendent's Report, 6.1, Personnel Report. Mr. Scott?
Trustees, you'll see the link in the agenda for this month's personnel report. You'll see a little activity in there for this month. If you would like any additional information regarding any of the items listed in that report, please let me know. We'll get you the additional information.
We will move on to 6.2, Custodial Services Department update. Mr. Scott?
Trustees, either by clicking on the link in the electronic agenda or in your miscellaneous folder, you'll see a hard copy of the same update from the Custodial Department Coordinator, Ms. Elaine Taylor. Ms. Taylor, welcome this evening. If you're interested in
Good evening, President Massengale, Superintendent Toscano, and members of the board. Thank you for this opportunity to present our Custodial Department Continuous Growth Scorecard to you for fiscal year 2021. Our first priority is in alignment with the district to ensure we foster a productive teaching and learning environment. Our department has excelled in customer service feedback per DLT's Thought Exchange surveys. A couple of the comments from the Thought Exchange survey were, this school year cleaning and disinfecting services and campuses has prevented a massive COVID outbreak. Thank you for all your hard work. Second comment was, the custodians are working hard and doing their best to ensure that cleaning, disinfecting, and e-misting gets complete. This is important to help contribute to the health and safety of our staff and students. Our custodial staff has embraced the title of being safety ambassadors for themselves, their peers, students, and staff. We are mitigating workers' comp claims and costs. Custodial staff have thrived with striving to meet all of the requirements to be eligible for the attendance retention incentive bonus, resulting in fewer absences, tardies, and the need for disciplinary write-ups. We have promoted professional and safety staff development through safe school certification courses, leadership trainings, and comprehensive COVID-19 cleaning and disinfecting protocols. In alignment with recruiting and maintaining a high-performing and engaged workforce, we have developed key performance indicators to maintain accountability. We engage weekly in facility management meetings and maintain transparency. We calendar and visit with new custodians on a 30, 60, 90-day meeting schedule. We post vacancies immediately and conduct job interviews promptly to ensure vacancies are filled. We monitor and utilize our frontline recruit and hire platform, which has proven to be an instrumental tool for putting structure and flow into our hiring process. We utilize several recruiting platforms to include Tasbo, Indeed, social media, newspapers, and posting hiring custodians on our campus marquees. We use consistent interview questions and review the many, many benefits of working for ECISD with each and every applicant. Thank you and kudos to our district's Tied to Pride from the Marcon Department. They have increased the Custodial Department's exposure for marketing. They have spotlighted our accomplishments, successes, dedication, and our exemplary team members. The Custodial Department has established significant collaborative partnerships to include Germblast, Buckeye, Gulf Coast, and Tasman, to name a few. Their partnerships have enhanced training for preventive maintenance on our machines, equipment, and proper disinfecting and cleaning and safety practices. They have supported and contributed to our team building meetings, trainings, and peer networking. In recognition of securing resources and operational excellence, the Custodial Department has institutionalized a system for cleaning and disinfecting protocols. They include e-misting every day and purchasing additional e-mist machines, comprehensive classroom, restroom, and touchpoint cleaning and disinfecting checklists that are reviewed daily. We are piloting teacher classroom satisfaction surveys and feedback forms. Implementation of a monthly cycle plan for ordering and replacement of Oxford disinfectant wipes for every classroom. Germblast pre-service, that's before even they do any servicing, ATP testing data has continued to trend downward at an exceptional rate, going from 371 to 127. The target ATP rate is 0 to 200. The last pre-service testing was significantly lower than 200 district-wide. These results are attributed to the extensive cleaning and disinfecting protocols that the Custodial Department have in place and the teamwork from campus admin and staff. The Custodial Department's key performance indicators are for measuring, monitoring, and holding ourselves accountable. Our KPIs are measured through our mid-year survey, in customer service, in service, communication, cooperation, and active listening, with slight increases and opportunities for further improvement. Workers' compensation data, claims, and costs. This year, we have only had 5 claims. This is the lowest compared to previous years. Germblast pre-service ATP data trending lower from January 2018 to the present. Levels are under 200 target rate, indicating high effective cleaning and disinfecting processes. Germblast, the company, has indicated that our district has some of the best data results of San Antonio Public Schools. Good. Looking ahead, growth opportunities. Increase meetings with admin to improve our customer service. Secure, retain, recruit quality custodial staff. Safety first. We have a goal of zero workers' comp claims. Continue disinfecting enhancements. Target pre-service ATP data and results, less than 200. Are there any questions?
I would just like to thank you and your staff and the custodial staff. They're not really recognized enough for all the things that they do, even before the pandemic, and all the extra work they have to do. I think they ought to be complimented for what they're doing. I'm pretty sure they're doing an excellent job. And I just want you to thank the custodial staff and all the schools for what all they do to help keep our schools safe and clean. And we appreciate you. We'll never recognize enough, never.
Thank you.
Ms. Dale, do you have a question?
No, I guess was applauding superheroes.
Yes, they are. They are the unsung heroes of the district, trust me.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you very much. We will move on to item 6.3, transportation department update. Mr. Scott?
Trustees, also tonight, we have our transportation leadership team here to provide an update of the transportation department progress this year. With us tonight, you're familiar with all of these wonderful folks. Our Director of Transportation, Don Jurek, and our Transportation Coordinator, Doug Young. And of course, we see our shop foreman, John Ewers, in the back over there, always supporting and doing fantastic work. That's another unsung hero, gentlemen and ladies. John, from the bottom of my heart, I want to tell you how fantastic a job you do and your team does in that shop. And it's an amazing transformation the last few years since you've taken the helm, and so we're very appreciative of what you do.
All right, good evening.
You're all right too, Mr. Jurek.
It's nice to see you ever said that. I'm flattered. All right, so thank you. Good evening, President Massengill, board members, Superintendent Scott. Thanks for the opportunity for us to present our goal updates for this 2021 school year. Starting off with priority one, we have a variety of systems that we utilize at transportation that help us go on a daily basis. Lots of planning that goes into our daily success. We have transparent route boards that are visible throughout both transportation departments. Our daily fleet board, our daily route board, actually has all of our driver and monitor assignments for all of our routes every single day, along with what vehicles they're going to be on. Down in the bottom left, we have our field trip manifest, which is basically every 2 week schedule for all of our upcoming field trips that are so we service the district for all of our field trips. Still there, so there's a scheduling for that. The bottom right, that's a copy of our fleet board. That pretty much runs everything in the back. So that's a picture of all of the vehicles in our fleet. So all of the vehicles in our fleet, what work is being done at a particular time, which ones are operational, which ones are not. We have immediate access to that through Google Sheets. All of our office staff can make a lot of time changes in a given time. So that's very, very up to date. We do follow the breakthrough coaching model. So we have a ton of meetings throughout the course of the week and month to make sure that we keep up with the many facets of our department. So we're, any time of day we might be conducting a fleet meeting, a routing meeting, leadership meeting, an office staff shop meeting. The list goes on there. So we're on top of that. And then last, due to the COVID pandemic this year, we've had to schedule a lot of meetings through the virtual platform, which Michelle will hit on here shortly.
Our department provides 4 professional trainings and developments for our staff every year. And they contain behavior management, building positive relationships with our students and our community, goal updates and safety. And our mechanics also have an opportunity every year to go to an annual conference that is specifically set up for them by TASBT, which is a specific mechanic training and getting them updated. And we also work in conjunction with campus administration in addressing the student discipline issues through educator handbook. And DOT leadership has had opportunities to learn and grow from meetings with Centex, TAPT, and TASBO. Priority 2, we use our Kpi board to track data, including routes run on time, bus accidents, staff attendance, and student ridership on a daily basis. This data provides us with the opportunity to give targeted training to our staff in order to promote a more efficient transportation operation with our community. In priority 3, we have our Synovia GPS system, and here comes the bus feature, which allows us to provide continued communication with parents in the district. Currently, as of today, we had 3,547 parents and students signed up with Here Comes the Bus. Our department participates in vendor-offered workshops and trainings, such as wheelchair training and service finder training. We also had an appreciation launch from eCentral PD. And our thought exchanges out to parents and district staff provide us with information to continue to improve upon our customer service.
All right, priority 4, this is the fiscal responsibility piece, something we take a lot of pride in with our department. A few years ago, we applied for and were awarded the VW grant through the TCEQ. That grant was a godsend in the fact that it allowed us to purchase 26 brand new buses to update our fleet. And as a part of that grant, we had to identify and certain vehicles that qualify. So we had 26, sent them out because they were older buses, produced bad emissions from the older engines. So we've got 26 brand new, cleaner running engines, brand new. And the great thing about this is for 26 buses, that would have cost the district about $2.6 million. With this grant, at the completion of the grant, we will have been reimbursed a total of $1,241,626. So basically 50% off almost for the price of our buses. It's been a game changer. We currently have already, in October, we completed our first round last year, and we've already been out of that $1.2 million. We've already currently been reimbursed in October a little bit over $693,000. So we're finishing the last part of our grant right now. And hopefully in the next month we can get that sent out for reimbursement, which will take a little bit of time on their part. We do continue to utilize iText for all of our purchase order requisitions and use that data to provide, to hold monthly meetings, make sure that we're on pace and on track to meet our budget. We always have been. We provide Ms. Judy monthly reports in the areas of fuel, stock, and oil and lube, to make sure that we're on track there. And at the end of the year, we do some work, submit an annual TDA mileage report. That's really critical that we keep our mileages correct, because every year, on average, we get reimbursed by TDA close to $1.2 to $1.4 billion, in which the districts are able to reallocate for uses for the next year. Ms. Young talked about our Kpi Dashboard. What's great about the Kpi Dashboards is it's all visible for everybody to see our department, and so our staff is constantly aware of our attendance. Right now, our attendance for the year is almost 93%, which is right on target. Our routes run on time, we're running 99.2%, which is meeting our goal. Our bus accidents totals are there. We do provide remedial training for every accident that we have. And our total ridership, we started tracking that this year. We've never have surpassed 37% of our annual ridership from last year. So that's helped us kind of combine routes where we can social distance effectively to be the most efficient that we can. Moving forward, we need to continue to try to find ways to better recruit and better train. I know we've met with Brandon and we're working on a project right now to kind of hopefully better market transportation and draw some more applications. Applications have been down this year, kind of across the board, so we're trying to find ways to keep them coming in. As I mentioned, the VW grant, we'll be finishing that up soon. We've already begun meetings with Irma Jean and Meredith to ensure that all of our kiddos' needs are met for summer programming. We've also taken the demographer's information from a few board meetings ago, and we've already begun meeting with the routing team and planning for the growth and routes for next year. And then I'm sure over the next couple of weeks, we'll begin our budget planning for next year. So a very busy part of the time. So, thank everyone for their attention to this, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I don't have any questions, but I do have a comment.
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of old, and there's some good information here,
Yes, sir.
but it's too small for me to read.
Okay.
So maybe we could, next time around, we could get those blown up. Like I said, take more paper to put them out. It's critical information
Yes,
for us to see the exceptional job that you and your staff are doing, and toot your horns and, show us these things like a little bit bigger.
Ryan, I'll take a little bit of responsibility for it. I only gave them 6 slides as a limit, but we can negotiate that.
You can on the 6 pieces of paper?
Yes, sir. I'm an ex-English teacher as well, so I get kind of verbose, so I got to fit a lot of words in there. I'll take it out next time.
I have a question. So you said the 6 slides, why did not rule apply to your mid-year review? I mean,
There's like several volumes too.
Duly noted. Duly noted.
That is awesome.
Just ask. Duly noted.
We can share transportation, so with you, when somebody starts going off in the weeds, we start drawing little pictures of weeds on the sidebar, so you know you're going off.
Appreciate all of this. What a fantastic job. Get the book.
Thanks so much.
Oh, John, take a picture with the big check.
Oh, I give my bank account, make deposit in there.
You're in the middle. Oh,
There you go, right there. Cool. Here you go.
thanks, Tim.
If you got something on tape.
No, sir, you did not.
All right, we will move on to 6.4, upcoming events, Mr. Descano.
Very briefly in your calendars, particularly in the month of April, the next regularly scheduled board meeting is on the 15th at 6:30. There are also, it's also the start of the EC Foundation silent auction. The foundation gala will be on the 22nd. It will be a virtual event. We'll be sending some more information to trustees about that specific event. But I just want you to note it on your calendar, that on the 15th, that silent auction opens, and on the 22nd, the actual virtual event to include the live auction will happen. Also, Mr. Masco, you had mentioned the 8th.
Yeah, trustees, on the April 8th, Region 20, we got to do our continuous training, FD 1566, evaluating and improving student outcomes. We will be having a special meeting on the 8th from 5:30 to 8:30 at the Student Services Building in the high school. And Region 20 will be doing team building and going over the evaluating and improving student outcomes. So put that on your calendar so we can get that training done.
Now, Mr. Volkey, I
But
believe
thank you.
Yeah,
already done.
we don't have to check that.
No, sir.
No.
Okay, thanks.
Ms. Dell, did you already do the 1566, SB 1566 training?
I took that last year.
Yes, okay, so you don't have to go to the training on the 8th, just for the trustees that.
I don't think so. Yeah, I just did the winter governance, so I got a number of things, but I don't think, the 56 is every 2 years, right?
Right, yes, ma'am.
Okay, right, I took that.
She still has a year. So she's up.
You're up to date, good deal. If you still want to come, you're more than welcome. Mr. Mulkey, you still want to come and join us, you're more than welcome as well.
Looking forward to it.
All right, we will move on to,
Yes, sir, that's it, yes, sir.
All right, we will move on to action agenda 7.1, 2021-2022 district calendar. Mr. Descano?
Service President, trustees, we're bringing to you tonight our recommendation for our district calendar for 2021 and 2022. And as we discussed at last month's meeting, the district has decided to continue with the 171-day calendar for students. And so at this time, I would like for Dr. Fuller to come on up and give the board a few brief highlights of the process we utilized recently to verify that this was the best option for us to consider, as well as point out a few highlights in the calendar. So, Dr. Fuller?
Good evening, Mr. Massengale, Board of Trustees, Mr. Scott. So since we met last time, we sent out the calendar through social media and with a survey and asked for feedback. The window was open for a week. And so since then, we had 774 people participate in the survey. We had 409 thoughts, that's statements that people submitted, and then 18,991 ratings of those thoughts. So pretty good participation. So I want to just kind of share with you what they said. So in your folder, you will see the calendar that we're proposing. It is almost identical to what we gave you last month with just a few minor mistakes. So, what was highlighted, or what are some of the thoughts that were most rated on, that came through on the survey were, this was the number one thought. Veterans Day, glad to see both staff and students will begin to observe this holiday. So that was the number one thought that was highly rated. Some other things where I like that school ends before Memorial Day, that was very, very popular. And another very popular item was the elimination of half days prior to holidays or in the middle of the week. That we haven't been doing that anymore. They're very happy to see that those are not included in this calendar as well. So some questions or concerns that were raised were about spring break, which week. So we did a little research, and our spring break, as you can see, is currently scheduled for the 7th through the 11th, which is the second week of March. We looked around the districts around our area, and all of them are either going to be that week or the week after, and it's about a 50-50 split. And so the ones most closest to us are about the same as our week, and then some of the other ones are that third week. So it's pretty split 50-50. The other big question was around the day after Easter weekend. And so they were requesting, or there was a question about, could we have that day off? And so we looked at the calendar to see if that could possibly be an option. And in order to do something like that, there's only so many holidays that you could take during the school year. And we have strategically placed them around Thanksgiving so that staff and students can have the whole week off of Thanksgiving and then 2 full weeks at the winter break. And so in order to do something like that, we would have to kind of rob Peter to pay Paul. And we figured that I think that it would be an overwhelmingly unpopular thing to remove one of those days from those 2 holidays to move it after the Easter holiday, so we kind of left it as is. And then the other one is Veterans Day, and because that was the number one comment that they liked that, we didn't think that would be a popular move to move that day either. So we are unable to make that day a holiday without taking it from somewhere else that we feel like would be less popular. The other thing is the staff development and work days, strategically looking at where those are placed. We put those strategically around the 9-week periods so that they could plan for the 9 weeks. And then the data days are also staff development days, and they're placed specifically around when teachers and students get specific data, either from big student tests or assessments, so that staff can then have time to review those and make plans around it. And so those are strategically placed throughout the calendar, purposely to make sure that staff and students have those days. The students are off and the teachers can work together around that work. So those are the big things. Can I show the good news with them?
You can.
So when I brought you last time was all around the grant that we had received for the additional school day grant. And we weren't going to 180-day instructional days. We were keeping it at our current 171. And so we thought we were going to not receive the additional funding for the grant since we weren't. But because we've been such good participants and our summer program is going to be so stellar and will still meet the requirements, they're funding us still 100%. Yeah, so they're going to fund all the curriculum, so we will not have to take any of that out of local money. So we're very excited about that. Any questions about the calendar?
Dale, you got any questions on the calendar?
No, why is happy that you're not changing veterans?
I'm so glad.
Yes, because that's our anniversary.
Perfect.
I
And celebrate?
I keep telling her the country celebrates with us, but they all shut down.
Absolutely.
They celebrate. She don't believe it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Gunn?
Service President, I recommend board approval of the 2021-2022 district calendar as presented.
We have a recommendation from the superintendent to approve the 2021-2022 district calendar as presented. Do I have a motion? I have a motion from Tony Barrientos. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a second from Dale Brazil. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We will move on to item 7.2, consideration and possible action regarding proposed termination of probationary contract employee. No action will be taken on that item. We'll move on to 7.3, budget amendment 2021-02, local maintenance. Mr. Scott?
Trustees, as you're very well aware, Child Nutrition Program has been doing a fantastic job meeting the nutritional needs of our students since the pandemic's inception. However, the reduction in the number of students that are coming to school face-to-face this year has reduced the amount of participation in daily meals. And so, although our child nutrition program has always been self-sustaining, they've had a healthy fund balance. Their fund balance has decreased this year to operate by $625,000 due to that reduced participation. In an effort to support our child nutrition program locally, Judy and I took a closer look at the local budget, and we identified a couple of opportunities. As you're aware, the board supported a $500 mid-year retention payment for all employees. Normally, child nutrition would pay for that for the employees in the department. We are, one of the items we're bringing to you tonight as part of this amendment is to shift that to the local budget and from the food service budget. In addition to that, the district has implemented the quarterly incentive program for attendance and performance for many of our auxiliary employees. That would be another cost to the child nutrition program for all of the child nutrition staff that meet those criteria. We felt like that was appropriate as another opportunity for us to pick that up out of local maintenance. So what we're bringing to you tonight is not nearly as much as we would like to contribute, but it's the first way that we were able to look at or find opportunities to support the child nutrition program. So what we're bringing to you tonight is a amendment to move $62,321 from function 35 food service and into, or rather the other way, from 51 plant maintenance to function 35 food service. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Judy, is there anything to add?
No, except that usually always child nutrition is the same, sustained itself for years and years. And this is just a one-time effort to keep them in the black, which I think with this effort and with all the effort that child nutrition program is doing, that they'll be able to stay in the black by the end of August, and hopefully in September, they'll start improving on their revenue sources.
Ms. Dale, you got any questions? No.
All right, Mr. President, I recommend board approval, budget amendment number 2021-02, local maintenance as presented.
We have a recommendation from the superintendent to approve the budget amendment 2021-02, local maintenance as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion from Mr. Victor Garza. Have a second? Have a second from Claudia Barrientos. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Would anybody like to have anything pulled from the consent agenda? No? We approve the consent agenda. We'll move on to have a motion for approving the consent agenda. Have a motion from Mr. Steve Bryant. Have a second?
Second.
Victor Garza. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 9, adjournment. We are done.
Sorry, 1 week.
Thank you all so much for coming tonight. Appreciate it. All y'all's hard work.
Thank you all. Ms. Lane?
Yes.
I'm gonna go get it.